And we're live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. Let me come on screen and say hi. Hi from a very mixed UK at the moment. We've got some blue sky, we've got some fluffy clouds, but autumn is definitely here. Gosh, I can feel the chill in the air, which I'm good with because now I can start to get my winter jumpers out. Sorry, I'm just trying to bring the comments up. It's time to get my winter jumpers out and make sure that I stay snugly. So I finally got socks on with my boots rather than just having barefoot and shoes. So yeah, the seasons, they have changed without a doubt. I can see a few people watching. So hi, come in and say hi, introduce yourself and let me know where you are. If you haven't given StreamYard permission, it'll just say Facebook user. If you have given StreamYard permission, it'll let me know who you are. So if it says Facebook user, I'll ask you just to say hi. Can see a few eyes on us. So what has this week been about? Where have I lurked this week? Well, the reality is I haven't. And I would have liked to have done actually, because it's been a full-on week. And good morning, Jenny from BC in Canada. I bet it's chillier in BC than it is here, although it's autumn here. Yeah. Oh, snuggly jumpers up here in the Midlands too. I wonder who that is. Who's the snuggly jumpers in the Midlands? Let me know. It could be one of a few people because I know a few up there. So yeah, this last week has been pretty full on. And hi from Michigan. Is that Carrie? Is it Carrie who joins us from Michigan? I can't remember now. Be nice if it is. 1 degree in BC. Wow. Okay, so no, we're definitely more than one degree here. We are. Oh, so Carrie. Oh, it's Sarah from Buckinghamshire. Nice to see you here, Sarah. And Carrie's saying in northern Minnesota. Oh, so it's not you in Michigan. So who is that in Michigan then? Anyway, mornings are dark, I know. And do you know what? It's been harder for me to get out of bed. I jump out of bed really early in the summer with the light mornings. I'm finding it a little bit more difficult at the moment, which for me as a morning person is kind of strange. Oh, it's Jen. Where has my StreamYard permissions gone this time? I know, it's bizarre, isn't it, that it keeps disappearing. Anyway, I had to keep it short last week because I had something that was starting at 1:15. I can't remember for the life of me what it was, but hey, that was what was going on. This week, since we last met, I've been delivering training every day, albeit only shortish sessions, so usually kind of 3-hour sessions, although I have done a couple of full days as well virtually, which, as you can imagine, as an introvert, takes so much energy. You know, if you think it takes energy to be live in front of a group, imagine how much extra energy it takes devoting your focus to that little camera to make it appear like you're at least alive. I find it really quite exhausting, but I'm happy for it to continue because I'm not having to leave home at silly o'clock. And with the petrol shortage that we've got here, or fuel shortage actually here in the UK, I'm pleased that I'm not having to kind of worry about whether I've got enough fuel to get where I need to get to. Tomorrow is exciting because I've got a training session first thing in the morning. And then at lunchtime, I'm recording a webinar that's going to be used by professional service firms. And the topic of the webinar fills me with great joy and excitement because it is the diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda, why we should take into account the extroversion bias. Hooray. And because it's aimed at HR professionals and diversity, equity, and inclusion leaders, I'm really hopeful that this is going to make a dent into people's understanding. I'm pretty sure it's only UK wide. So for those of you across the pond, not sure it's going to be much use to you, but I'll see if there's any way that I can at least record some of it myself, take snippets of it. I'm not sure how we can do that, so that I can share it with you. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write an article that pretty much sums up everything I'm saying in the webinar. So it might be a bit of a long read because it's an hour-long webinar. So it might be a long read, but I'll try and do something, because I think it's so important that, you know, this message gets out to the HR professionals, the leaders, and the diversity, equity, and inclusion leaders too. Funnily enough, I had to write an article on much the same subject that had to be in by last Friday, and I'm just waiting to hear whether they will publish that. So there's some traction happening here, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, thanks, Carrie. On the Carrie said, congrats on the webinar. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So I've got everything ready, and we should be okay. What else has happened that's exciting that means I haven't had a chance to lurk? I've had the results from a photo shoot that happened when I was away on the business retreat. Do you remember the week when I couldn't do the live? It was because I was away on a business retreat, and part of what they offered was a mini photo shoot. I've just ordered 14 photos from it, because they are so different. Emma, who was the photographer, has managed to capture me in ways that other people haven't. So I'm really excited about starting to use those, because they do look quite different. And of course, they're really current. So I notice, I don't know if it's to do with my age, but the last photo shoot looked like I had loads of hair. And now, oh, see, it does when I do that. Now, all of a sudden, I'm looking like I've got less hair, but hey, that's fine. I can deal with that. And then, if you're on my email list, you may have received an email today from me with my latest musings. I was prompted or encouraged to write the blog, which is what I call my musings, based on a podcast episode a couple of weeks ago, which is how we hold ourselves back as introverts. And just gathering together the information that my clients had shared with me, I came up with 20 really easily. But then what I did in my blog was I shared how some of those had played out in my life. And it ended up, I noticed a real pattern for me, which is there'll be some way in which I significantly hold myself back. And then it's almost like there's you know, that acts as a catalyst for me to show up braver. And I talk about it being kind of my gutsy, and I've forgotten the term I use now, but I talk about it in my business as being gutsy. What? Can't remember. Oh no, quietly gutsy. So courageous didn't seem the right thing, but quietly gutsy. Yeah, that was me. But this is what I noticed. When I hold myself back, I then that acts as a catalyst for me to then get quietly gutsy. And then I do things that surprise me and take me even further on my flourishing journey, lift me even further. So in that blog, I've shared 3 examples of where I've really noticed that in my life. Quite personal ones, so it was a bit scary to do. But I thought, you know what, I think it's worthwhile doing. And then the other thing that is happening is I'm getting ready to launch my next big program. And last year when I ran it, the first ever version of it, I called it Frustrated to Flourishing. And as you know, some of you obliged me with the research and helped me out with that. And frustrated was a word that I used, but lots of other people didn't. So this program is likely to be called, and I'm saying likely because I've had another idea and I'd quite like your input on this. It's Brazen. Oh yeah, Carrie. Yeah, quietly brazen. That's cool. Actually, that's kind of what gutsy means for me, actually. But brazen has other connotations around here, which is like, you know, a woman of the night type thing. So I that's probably why I went with gutsy. Yes, so the program, the working title of this program is Introvert Emerging. And I did use that on an earlier program that I was running, which I started during lockdown and was really around kind of how we come out from lockdown. But I like the name, so I might use that name. But here's the one that's just come to mind. Tell me what you think of this. What about Introvert Rising? See, that really excites me. Now, the problem is I've started to talk about Introvert Emerging. So if I now change it to Introvert Rising, I'll have to give a big explanation of it. But I rather like Introvert Rising because this is aimed at people who are ready to take the next step. So what do you think? Introvert Emerging, Introvert Rising? I'd love to hear your comments in the chat while we're live here. And if you're watching on Catch Up, hashtag replay, what do you prefer, Introvert Emerging or Introvert Rising? Let me know. I've still got a week and a bit to kind of figure it out. So Carrie likes Emerging better. Yeah, thanks for that, Carrie. It may be that that's the case. It may be that I hit on it okay first time round. So yeah, we'll see. And then next week I will be here. Well, not here actually. I'm probably going to be in my office at home so I'll have that lovely blue background that you've seen sometimes, because I've booked the whole week out for me to do things for me. Because I have been working so flat out. Not only have I not had anywhere to lurk, I need to catch up on some lurking. I need to have a couple of lie-ins and read some books. And if the weather stays bright like it is now, even though it's chilly, finish clearing up the garden for the autumn. So next week I will be here at 1 o'clock, but from my home office with that lovely blue background, because I'm not intending to do any real client-facing work. There'll be lots going on behind the scenes, but no real client-facing work. So thank you for joining me today. If you aren't on my email list but would like to, then just pop your email. You can pop it in a DM to me through Facebook if you'd rather, or you can pop it in the chat, depending on what you feel safe to do. You can always find the musing on my website, so flourishingintroverts.com. You'll see a tab there for musings, and you can actually click on it there if you don't want to go to the faff of getting emails, etc. So let me know what you think when you read it, because what I've talked about is when I reflect on my life and think about these episodes where I hold myself back, and then when I become when it's a catalyst for me to then be more gutsy, it feels like a fairground ride. And some of the time it's like a proper roller coaster. Some of it's like one of those old-fashioned merry-go-rounds, the gentle ones that just kind of, gently little horses go up and down. But I've asked people to comment and share when they reflect on their life, what kind of fairground ride has it been? So it might even have been bumper cars for all I know, and anything else. Anyway. Oh, let me share that. Okay, I'm going to share both of these before we go. So Introvert Rising sounds much quieter as we step out into our power, versus Emerging sounds like entering the spotlight. Oh, so Emerging gives you the eeks feeling, does it, Jenny? That's really interesting. And then let me share this one too. Oh, gathering yourself together after being broken. Yeah, certainly after being burnt, if it's the phoenix. So that's a really interesting observation too. So thank you for that. Appreciate that. It might be that I talk about rising as part of the emerging, or talk about emerging as part of the rising program, whichever way we go. So thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate that. And if you care to let me know when you reflect on your life, what fairground ride it feels like for you, then yeah, let me know. Anyway, I'll sign off for now, turn off my mic, put my thank you page up, and just let it play out as usual. Nice to have so many of you here. Thank you.